You hear the sounds of battle? The melodious sounds of battle?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
With that said,
Sounds good.
we are ready to rock and roll, I should think, yes? So let's do that. Who cares to regale what occurred during last session's episode of Hunters? Anybody? Not all of you at once, come on. Who cares to regale what happened last session?
Maybe we should probably, because we have a new player, right? So
Absolutely.
Okay, so bandit activity has died off except for a small stretch. And recently a wagon full of gold was ambushed. Right?
Indeed.
That's where we started off.
100%.
So we wound up talking to a dwarven carpet merchant and a human coal merchant in a tavern, and they contracted us to do security for their wagon, which was going up to a small town.
Dudeluck. Or Deadlook.
Oh.
Deadlook. I always get that backwards. Deadlook. Now, Deadlook is...
when we were talking to him, we found out that there is a banker named Rothrick that was found trying to kill himself and was then put into the insane asylum,
Hospital.
which we decided to go and have a visit. Through some shenanigans, we wound up worming our way in and interrupted an assassination attempt.
Boom.
We later found out who the bandits were who attacked the caravan, as well who tried to attempt the life of Rothrick. And we found out that their name is the Red Sash. We brought him to the warden. Actually, Rothrick told us if we could find his gold caravan, you'd pay us an immense price. Went to the warden. The warden also said that if we could bring these bandits down, we'll be paid a decent amount of money. So that's basically what happened last session. So we're about to assist this caravan down the road to the next town. I'm sorry, I can't remember it.
And then we got interested in the wagon a little bit. We started inspecting them. And that's where we left off. We found a secret compartment in the wagon with some poison, sash, some scrolls, and kind of snuggled. And we almost caused a heart attack to Bartholomew, right?
Oh, he did have a heart attack. Through vigorous of the chest.
Truth. There was also one other thing. You did visit the marshal in town, the captain of the guard in Weymouth, and you had a chat with him, and you got a writ from him, a parchment that you were to take to Deadlook, where you would present it to the guards there to have their assistance or blessings, rather, towards dealing with the Red Sash, who you had found out from the assassin, who you charmed during interrogations, that they were nestled in a place called the Black Talon Tavern, which he said is just outside of Deadlook. They also dictated that you had a password to contend with. So a secret knock that you described as 321.
Yes, indeed.
And if there's nothing that I'm forgetting, if there is anything that I'm forgetting, it's all in the Cole's notes that are on the Skype channel that we're no longer using. Or maybe we'll go back to it. I don't know. It depends on how this goes. Is everybody clear on everything so far?
Yep.
Righteous. And when we last left our heroes, they were just preparing to saddle up to head out. Over here. Aldous, the elf wizard who's been with you the whole time and has been privy to everything the entire way through, is saddling his horse alongside the rest of you, preparing for the journey. Actually, do you guys have fucking horses, come to think of it? I guess nobody took a horse.
We didn't. We kind of just... I think we're just assuming that we're going to sit in the caravans.
That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fine. The next morning, it shows you guys alongside Aldous, who's been here the whole time and is totally privy to everything going on, as Brixton and Bartholomew, respectively, get themselves strapped into position. Their horses chuffing and purring as the straps lead around, bits are holstered in mouths, and finally reins are handed up to the driver on each bench. Sorry, I was just going to say, as the sun climbs high, Brixton and Bartholomew have gotten themselves set to go. What do you guys do?
So I'm thinking that I'm sitting next to the guy, Bartholomew, the guy who I saved, and I'm just gonna take a look at him and say, "You get that water that I asked? You know, how's your chest feeling?"
He gives himself a thump on the chest and looks towards you with a meager smile and says, "Oh, I'll be okay, I should think."
Yeah, I was worried for a second. I didn't think we'd get paid, you know.
He gives a broader smile, though still meager and obviously forced, and says, "Don't you worry, whippersnapper. Don't you worry at all." He coughs a couple times over, and you watch as he wipes his hand on his trouser leg there, and then sorry.
As long as you're paying me, I'll make sure that if you need any more chest punches, I'll give them.
He kind of brushes this off, and then focuses in and says, "Are you ready for the road then?" Who is faxing right now?
I'm printing. I was printing.
Man, it's a mute button. Use it. Come on, man. What are you doing? What was it though? He asks you directly, with a stiff brow, "Are you ready for the road? Do you have your effects in order?" And so that's a quick question. Is there a montage of you guys doing anything in town?
I think we got everything, right? We did that last session. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Does Aldous have anything to do before you guys take off?
No, if I have like all my basic components, then I'm good to go.
Yeah, cool. Fucking Doc, you got anything to do? Nothing? Yes? No?
No, I think I'm pretty much.
And Resvin?
My riding out with the dwarf that I'm.
I'm assuming so. I mean, I just work here. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it'd be a likely companionship.
All right.
For we're gonna get stuck now.
With the rest of your fellow hunters, one would think. And Resvin, is there anything else you're doing before you join your companions?
Actually, I was hoping to kind of scope out the other cart a little bit before it took off too, right? So we checked out the one, and I was hoping to check out the other.
Okay. So the one got checked out. You guys are staying overnight. I guess in this case, you're sneaking out to check the place in the middle of the night to check out Buddy's wagon there. It was Bart's wagon that you guys checked out last week, Bartholomew's wagon. It's
Yeah.
Brix's wagon you'd be checking out this time around. He's the carpet dealer.
Correct.
Okay.
They're probably lovers and probably mixed into the same things.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, so do you take anybody else with you, or is it just you?
You want a hand on the thief?
Yeah, I would love a hand from the thief.
Okay.
And anybody else, you know what? Like, you know, a couple lookouts wouldn't be a bad idea too. So,
Yeah, I'll come with.
whatever.
I'll come with. I'm suspicious of the plus my background. I'll come with too.
You suspect shenanigans and thusly join in. The lot of you make your way out in the middle of the night. As you creep through the town of Weymouth, you come upon the warehouse where you see several wagons, some covered, some not. You can hear horses nearby, some sleeping, some not. And you can hear some guards, one of them snoring and one of them not. As he gives the one a punch in the shoulder there, the fellow clatters and clanks in his armor with a snort and says, "What'd you do that for?" "I was dreaming of her again, man. It was good." "You're drunk on the job again." You hear the voice come out over the fence. As you peer across the fence, you can see the top of the compound that the carts are situated in. You can see the office at the front, and then the fence just wraps off around. There's a couple buildings at the back here. The fence itself is only about 6 feet high. It's not super secure. And where you're situated is just where the road slopes down, so you can literally just see right over the fence directly into the yard. And you can hear these guys' voices echoing from just on the other side of the fence, nearby where it wraps around towards the gate. You guys, whoever was in there can remember that there was like a smithy post off towards the one corner there, and you guys can see the roof of it sticking up. It's like about a 6 foot by 6 foot little booth with a sharpening wheel, an anvil, spot for storing hammers, and a bench for working stuff on. That said, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I looked at Resbin and okay, so do you want to do this the sneaky way, or do you want to do this up front? Which way would you like to do?
I'm kind of good with going the sneaky way.
Sneaky?
I'm down with
Okay. Okay, so I'll stay back. So if you fuck up, I'll come and save you. I feel like that's the best option. I'll come with, but I'll be looking out in case you guys make any noise.
Can you do a wild animal call?
I can do my best.
All right. So what's it gonna sound like?
God. I will do a wolf howl, which just try to distract the guards so we can sneak by them.
Perfect.
So I wait until they're looking one way, and I say, and see if I can get their attention so we can sneak past. You want me to do deception?
I mean, if you're trying to sound like a real wolf, yeah, go ahead and throw. Are you proficient in nature?
I'm proficient in deception.
That's
not
fair.
nature.
That's fine. I was gonna give you advantage for nature, but you can roll the deception just plain. I will roll for the guards in this case.
It's gonna be a 14.
They're all a 19. Plus bonuses or minus bonuses, but point being, you still hear them go, "What the devil?" from the other side of the fence. The drunk fellow hiccups once and responds, "They're having as much fun as I am, or maybe more. Can we just leave it alone? I'm in no condition."
Okay.
So I'm proficient in stealth.
I don't know. You tell me.
No, I'm saying I'm proficient in stealth.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
three. Yeah, all
try-
three of us are.
Okay.
I got +4 on that as well.
So, how do you guys want to approach this? You guys want to run in? You guys want to jump the fence? You guys want to... I mean, obviously you want to be stealthy about this, so when I say run in, I'm expecting that you're going to creep through the gate in some fashion.
Yeah, I can cast light on the thing, something. I have light cantrip, so I can cast it and then try to get their attention somewhere else. That's all I can do right now. Or
I have a minor illusion.
sure, you want to try to distract them?
Sure. So I'm gonna cast a minor illusion with a sound over in some bushes.
Sounds
It
fun.
sound like two wolves
Getting the freak on? Alright. From the bushes is emanated a whining and a grunting.
on a
A whining and a grunting, as best your memory can recall from the never or maybe once that you've heard actual wolves fucking. Echoing away from the bushes. It resonates over the wall easily. As this occurs, you can hear footsteps from the other side of the wall, as well as from behind you up the road. As you find yourselves situated under the
We better go over the fence and get in there.
Let's just go. Let's just freaking sneak.
Alright, sounds good.
If anything goes wrong, I'll just pretend I'm drunk and I can just...
Is anybody staying back? Because I want to stay back with the stay back group.
Yeah, I think
Victor.
Yeah, I was just chilling, probably drinking some beer or meat or something, sharpening my axe.
that's cool. You find yourself next to a couple crates that look fairly inviting as far as seating goes. The footsteps, as you glance behind you, belong to a pair of villagers, locals, as far as you can tell, making their way along. One of them is carrying a pair of hand kegs, one under each arm, and the other's got what seems to be a basket of, you'd assume, vegetables of some sort. You note that it's kind of late for them to be walking about with groceries. But that said, the echoing sound of wolves getting it on echoes about you as the footsteps of the guards on the other side of the fence line of the compound echo distant-wise, and finally you hear the retch and grunt of a man losing his dinner to the rigors of alcohol.
Can we sneak while he's retching?
So if you want to throw me a d20, are you guys going towards the gate or going away from the gate to like approach from the back? Only 6 feet high, so it's not especially difficult to scale.
Okay,
I was
so
gonna hop the fence, but
yeah, sure, we'll hop the fence.
Okay.
I'm 3.5 feet tall.
Yeah, come to think of it,
Okay.
I should say it's not hard to leap if you're a human of 5 feet and taller. If you're under 5 feet, you're gonna have a bad time.
You too.
You might have to yell parkour, roll an athletics check, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So just saying.
I'm like 5'4".
Okay, you're good then. You're good.
I have to roll athletics.
Yeah.
So coming
do you
towards-
wanna- Do you want us to roll stealth, or do you want us to...
15 plus 4.
So your first roll is gonna be stealth if you want to be stealthy.
Yep.
It's an easy roll, really. We're talking a 10 or better. As you crouch down slightly and run against the outside of the fence.
17.
Cool. The next one's an athletics check. Again, easy fence. We're talking 13, 14 or better.
For people who are short, or people...
I stepped over that fence.
Oh, if you're short, it's a disadvantage. Stop
Can
your
I
stuff.
show you something, Daddy,
What do you
that
wanna
I
show?
made upstairs?
What'd you make upstairs?
I want to show you.
I'll see it in a bit. I'm in the middle of the game right now, Bushy.
I made a basketball thing.
You made a basketball thing?
Yeah, like a basketball hoop.
Oh, you made like a basketball hoop?
Yeah,
Right
that
on.
can fit this. Wait, what is this?
Bathroom towels. I use them for game. I'm in the middle of the game, baby girl.
I didn't make it at disadvantage.
Love you.
I was fine the first time. Love you too.
13 for me.
All right. There's a scrabbling noise as you guys attempt to grab a hold of it, and as you go to lift yourselves up, you find it more difficult than you would assume as you're on a bit of a slope coming at it, and you kind of jumped at the wrong time, and you kind of bashed your pinky finger. Anyway, as you guys struggle rather ineptly to get over the fence for the brief moment, you eventually manage to clamber up and comedically fall onto the other side just because.
Did the guards notice?
We're gonna play it like an Ivan Reitman movie, meaning they don't. There's a long shot that's been flattened up of you guys dropping into the place with an oof that obviously echoes across the place while this guy's just walking out the gate and looking around like, what's going on? But he's so fixated on the sound of the wolves fucking that he just doesn't pay attention. You could get away with murder at this point, it seems. With that all said, you get yourselves inside, just on the other side of a couple crates and a bunch of logs that are meant for a little bit of a saw table set to the side. So you're hidden well enough amidst some building materials, and you can see the carts all lined up on the one side, and the horse paddock. Actually, the horse paddock's just in the middle of the compound. So.
I say we are only going to look at Brixton's cart. We're not touching anything else. Got it?
Fair enough.
Doc, I know you have steely hands.
Your fingers itch in the
I
moment.
guess we'll investigate Brixton's cart to start.
Okay. Approaching it upon, Brixton's cart is semi-covered. It has a leather tarp that has been stretched across it and some bonework underneath. But from what you can tell, it is removable. It looks like it was added on after the fact and designed to be easy to take off in the event you needed to. All of this is readily apparent as the cart itself is made of a mix of metal and wood, the metal being fairly rusted, the wood being fairly old, but not rotted, well treated it seems, well loved actually, as in some places there's a bit of sanding and you can see Brixton's etched his whole, chiseled his whole name into the side lovingly. The wagon's back end is a sealed gate. Never mind the fancy words. It's just a gate across the back, a simple tailgate that opens sidelong, so it's got the hinges on one side and opens outward. The whole of the wagon is about, I'm going to say 4 feet wide, 6 feet including the wheels and axles. It is a 4-wheel cart that is about it's about 9 feet long. So if you imagine it's 9 feet long, 4 feet wide, and it has a swing out hatch on the back.
Is the gate locked?
It does have a locking mechanism built right into it, and it's a metal panel.
Is it open? Can we try it?
You can give it a tug if you like. To your surprise, or maybe not, it is actually unlocked. And as it comes open, you realize it's not unlocked. The latch is just a bit broken.
Interesting. Can we do a sweep of?
As you peer inside, you're confronted immediately with several carpet cylinders, large rugs stacked on one another. There's probably about 16.
Can I check the lock and see? Was it just naturally broken, or did somebody forcibly break it?
You take a brief moment to look it over, and you can make me an investigation check.
17 plus.
From what you can see, the latch has been rounded off from use and has just grown weak.
Okay, perfect. I say to Dr. Renson, okay, looks like nobody broke in. It was just naturally.
I like crawl between the thing. I'm like using my gnomish what is it?
And I'd like to investigate to see if there's any more hidden compartments like there was in the.
So go ahead and throw me the investigation.
I'll check the papers that were wedged in between the cylinders.
Okay.
17 plus 5.
Terrific.
I got a 5. I am a terrible rogue.
So, as you grab the sheaf of papers, Doc clambers. Oh, had to lift a carpet, right? They're not fucking.
Yeah.
They're not light. And that said, the thing you suddenly see is with your 17 investigation, as you're unfurling the parchments, is a smaller bundle nestled, wedged, in fact, between some of the carpet rolls. As you're unfurling the parchments, you read over the ledger that this guy keeps, and as you unfurl them, it's just basically a giant scroll of papers held together with leather straps at the one side, and it's just transactions listed down of the various pickups and deliveries he's done of various carpets. And as you sift through, you get to the back few pages where he's got listed, you would assume, this shipment. There's about 16 rows that have picked up and various gold amounts. And the thing that suddenly strikes you is just how much each of these carpets is worth. They're probably in the neighborhood anywhere from 3 to 7, 800 gold for this one over here.
That seems.
Of metal in the firelight of nearby torches catches your attention as you see a gorgeous looking sword with a cross hilt encrusted with several gemstones. You're assuming they're red. In the firelight, it's hard to tell.
I look to Resman and say, Resman, can you tell if this is magical or not?
I cast Detect Magic.
Alright, it's a 10-minute ritual. I'm pretty sure it's a 1 minute. Hang on a sec.
You are right. It is 10 minutes.
Well, if you spend a spell slot, then it's just instant. So if you want to spend a spell slot, you can spend a spell slot.
What's the spell slot?
No.
Spell slot is.
I'm pretty sure
Ritual is like you don't have to spend a spell slot, and it takes 10 minutes to cast. But if you want to just do it now, then you just spend a spell slot and then it happens.
Oh yeah, sorry. It is a 1 action casting time. My bad.
Yeah.
Concentration up to 10 minutes. My bad. As you were. With a quick blast of etheric energy, you read upon the object and get back very little, but a sort of residual magic. Seems to be a guidance magic of some sort.
Ooh. So, which one of us is tall enough to hide this?
That would be probably me.
Now, I did mention that there was a light clanging noise, and as you unfurl this further, getting the sword out for him to cast upon, there's a dagger there as well. Also the same design, silver cross handle with a few gemstones encrusted upon it.
Does it have any engravings on it? Like, is there any languages or any runes or symbols?
It doesn't actually have any writing.
We show up with this, wearing this on the trip. They're gonna know where it went to.
So I don't think we should. It's tempting to take it, but I don't think we should. It's we'll tell the marshal.
Yeah, a bit of info might be good. I mean, if they're smuggling weapons in.
But it doesn't seem because I don't think they look evil. It doesn't seem nefarious. Bartholomew's cart was more looked like shady, personally.
Dooley,
Yes.
with this detect magic, there's a 30-foot radius, so it's going to show me anything else, possibly that's also magical in this cart. That's
fair. Shit, man.
How long have they been gone, too, by the way?
You can actually see them. I want to say, from where you're situated on the hill that I was describing, where it slopes down, comedically, you're watching them as you're watching the other guard make his way out towards the bush that the noises are coming from. And as you're observing upon this, you're wondering where the other guard is. At which point, you see the top of his head as he stumbles outward towards the paddock of horses slightly and says, "Hey, horsey! Hey, horses!" As he stumbles further towards it.
them?
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably, we'll say, 100-ish feet away, as the paddock itself is about 60 feet across.
Alright, then, I want to cast Message to the Thief,
All right.
and I'm going to say, hey, how's it going? Looks like you might have company coming.
Okay. For another, it begs a response.
Thanks for the heads up, and then I'm gonna have to turn to my gnome and my bard and say, "There's trouble."
What's your
God is?
What's your passive perception, gents? Passive perceptions.
13.
Okay. That's fair enough to see the guard between all the horses on the other side. You can see him stumbling about. You cannot see the other guard from where you're situated. He's well enough. It's lit up on the one side facing you with several small smatterings of evocative magic.
I do.
Take a quick check just to make sure that we're not that the drunk guy hasn't figured us out yet, and if he's heading over, I'm gonna go take a peek as well.
Okay, fair enough. Just a note, you're up top inside the carpets. You got this bundle of swords at your feet as you're underneath this leather tarp that's about 3 feet above you, and you're peering up. You're like, I want to go check that shit out, And so, are you cleaning this up and putting it away? I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it back away first. I'm not gonna make you get in the carpet.
I'm assuming someone's closing the hatch on this thing. Yes? No?
Yeah, I will. It's on the tallest.
Okay, sounds good. You do so as it closes up. It comes to the latch, and you can't actually open the latch to close it quietly. So you've kind of just either got to leave it slightly open or push it in, which might make a noise.
I'll just leave it slightly open.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'll follow Bresvin and Doc to wherever they're going.
Right on. So as Resvin disappears from view after a brief Robert Downey Jr. moment, you excuse yourself from your companions to go and seek upon the shiny shinies. Coming upon this one covered wagon that's well built, from what you can tell, well built all around from wood and some you want to say gilded edges where the metal fastens the boards that make up this this decorated wagon up. It's painted across in multiple colors, and it has Wonderful Willie's Wizarding World written in massive, cheesy block letters. Massive, gaudy block letters on the side. The painted sides of it try to accomplish a rainbow of